Good afternoon. My name is Tom. I come to you from the great state of Maine. This is part 3 of 12 of Throw Everything Away That You Know About Deer Hunting. Now in part 1, I talked about what I do in December. And what that is I scout just as much as I can for gathering information put towards my next November's deer hunt. And in part 2, I talked about your 2 square miles. I actually touched on it a little bit in part 1 and a little bit in part 2. So I'll put a link to part 1, and in part 1, all of the links will be there as I bring them up this series. So, but anyways, in part 2, I talked about what you do with your 2 square miles during the month of January. And now we're into January and we're into February and all that stuff. What I do in them months, and today I'm going to be talking about cover scents and why I don't use cover scent and why I think my way might be just a little bit better if you're a solo hunter. I let my deer smell me. I want them to know what I smell like. I don't use any cover scents, none at all. You might catch me cutting firewood right up until the time I go out in my tree stand. And we'll touch on that later on. But I might be throwing firewood in the woodshed. It doesn't really matter. And I'll tell you why it doesn't matter. Because I want the deer. I spend a lot of time in my 2 square miles. That's the only way that this will work. Spend some time out in your 2 square miles. Don't chase the deer. If you see a deer, don't walk in his or her direction. Just let them do their thing. But you want them to smell you. Let them smell you. Let them know who you are. My name is Tom. I want them to know who Tom is. And that way, as long as I don't chase them, they don't get afraid of me. I spend a lot of time in my 2 square miles. I love being out in the swamp. I love being in my 2 square miles. And by letting them get to know what I smell like, and if they know I don't chase them, especially the does, I want them does to come by me and say, and they take a smell, and they smell. They smell, oh, that's just Tom. That's just Tom over there. He never bothers us. So they'll just continue on by my tree stand. They'll just mosey on because they know that smell. It's nothing new. They've been smelling me for a year because I come out and I walk around with them. They might jump up, but a lot of times they don't run. Think about this. A little bit of food for thought. But as long as they smell me and they know I'm no danger, they're not going to head for the Timbuktus. They're going to stick right around. That's what my deer do. So by not scaring them does when you're in the full rut, because them does, they smelled you, they know who you are, they know you're Tom. Them does do their thing and they never get scared. They don't flick their tail up and run for high heaven. They don't stomp their feet and they don't grunt and all that stuff because they've gotten used to you. So then big old buck, we're in full rut now. Big old buck, he comes through. And hey, he might not know you because he's come from the other side of the mountain. But them does, they didn't take off running. So if you're hunting with the wind and you haven't spooked any does because they know what you smell like, hey, you're going to get yourself a nice buck. So that is why I do not use cover scents. So, but this takes place over the course of the year leading up to your November hunt. By getting out there and cutting trails, getting out there and learn where the deers bed down, where they hunker down in foul weather. All of that stuff plays into them getting used to you. If you're in their bedroom throughout the whole year, they're not going to be concerned if you're in their bedroom in November. Think about it. You haven't bothered them for 11 months. Why are you going to bother them on the 12th month? They don't know. They don't have a calendar. They just know Tom's back in the woods. That might work in your 2 square miles as long as you put a little bit of time in the woods. I go in the woods with a lunch. I'll get right in the middle right in the middle of my 2 square miles, and I'll build me a lunch, and I'll stay there most of the day. I just did it a week ago. I went out in the swamp. I headed out in the swamp about 7 o'clock in the morning. I didn't come back here at the base camp until it was close to dark. You know, another half hour, it would have been dark. So it's just a matter of letting your deer get used to you, and they won't bolt every time you come into the woods. But here's the trick. If you bring a buddy with you, he's tagging along behind you, they don't know his smell. Now you're going to spook them. You're going to scare them. So keep that in mind. That's one of the reasons I hunt alone. My deer know what I smell like, and they know I'm not a danger to them. Because the does, I'm not. I would never shoot a doe up here, because I want the does give me baby bucks. So think about it next time you want to pop a doe. It's really the buck that you're after. But keep that in mind, just something to think about. That's why I kind of make fun of the cover scents. A buck can smell 200 different scents at the same time. So you tell me how you're going to trick a buck's nose. You're not going to. A lot of this stuff that they push and peddle, it'll work south of here because there's lots of deer. There's, you know, they got a whole, we got a lot of deer here, but you have to actually learn how to hunt for them. And once you learn how to hunt for them, it is not a problem to get a deer up here. But you have to use a couple of tricks, a couple of techniques. This is one of them. I think this is one of my things that I discovered over the years that is really probably one of my better techniques and tricks. So spend some time in the woods, let your deer get to smell you, and you might find that you'll have a nice sized buck hanging from your meat pole more often than you already do now. So I hope you have fun with this. I don't claim to be the best deer hunter in Maine. I don't claim to be the best deer hunter in the country. I don't claim to be the best deer hunter in New England. But anyways, this is some of the stuff that works for me. So I hope it will help you. Subscribe to the channel if you like it. Tag along. Come on back. I've got several more parts of this coming out. More techniques that I will expand on as we go, that plays into my 12-month deer season. And every month that you spend in the woods, you learn more and more and more about your deer and about your 2 square miles. You learn that 2 square miles like the back of your hand, and you will get a deer. You will have an honest-to-God chance at getting a deer. So that's going to wrap this video up. I will see you on the next video. I hope you have a great evening. The sun is starting to set, so we will see you next time.